Hello, I'm FedoraG4mer, and today we are going to be looking at Heroes of Loot and trying to determine, is it fun? But first, today's trivia question. Who was the designer of the original Gauntlet? Nolan Bushnell, Steve Wozniak, or Ed Logg? And as always, the answer will be at the end of this video. Okay, now, Heroes of Loot. Well, as you might notice, this video is not in HD because this game only runs in 480p. So that's a pretty bad way to start. But Heroes of Loot is by Orange Pixel and is actually an Android and Ouya game that's in development. And Orange Pixel released an early PC version of it for one game a month. Unfortunately, that might be a pretty bad thing, but the game is donationware. You can donate any amount of money you want and get the game, but you can also get it for free on the website as well. But, you know, that's kind of a dick move. But still, let's go ahead and look at the options first. There are two options. You can kill the music and sound effects. That's the only options there are, and you won't hear either of those because there is a problem with my video recording software actually capturing this game's audio. It might have something to do with this game is Java based, which is another bad mark against it. But it caught my interest because it is it's in the vein of Gauntlet. It's very inspired by the original Gauntlet, which is an old school game I loved. Even the classes are exactly the same as Gauntlet. Of course, the graphics are slightly better than the original Gauntlet. But let's go ahead and jump into it because there's nothing else to really look at. Let's see if I can remember how to attack. Here we go. Hordes of enemies, just like Gauntlet, but these ones just infinitely spawn. They don't come from spawners like the original Gauntlet did, which I kind of find annoying. One thing that is very disappointing about this game is you'll see me shooting. I'm just holding the X key down. It auto-aims, which makes it highly uninteresting. I can kind of see why when it's being designed originally for mobile devices. But yeah, it's not really fun. You just lay on the X key and run around. I also don't like how the gold that the enemies drop disappears in a few seconds. Just a lot about this game is very bad PC port, which is kind of strange because normally you see ports of PC games going to mobile. It's not all that often you see mobile games being ported to PC. It happens now and then, but apparently it doesn't go very well. There are shops, full health potion only, I don't need that. The shops only have one item each and there's not a whole lot of variety in it. I will note this game is far from complete. There's a lot more features that is being planned to be added. But from what Orange Pixel's website says, it doesn't really sound like they're going to update the PC version with the new features. They're just adding them into the mobile version. I don't know if this PC version is going to get any updates, which is a shame because it might be interesting if it did. That's pretty much what it is. It's picking up a lot of gold, hearts, and just laying on the X key to fire at everything. I don't even know what these little pot things are. They just get in the way of shooting is all I can tell. Alright, let's see what's in this shop here. Another full health potion. Those are pretty much useless. Just run through it. Yeah, there is a leveling system. It's very shallow. It just increases your speed and your damage. Which, you know, I can't really talk about shallow because by today's standards, the original Gauntlet was extremely shallow. There was no character development for the most part. Oh, a lot of them. I don't know why the health potions are blue. That doesn't make any sense to me. Health potions are supposed to be red. That's just the convention. That's how it is everywhere. Those should be mana potions, but there is no mana in this game. And that's pretty much what the game is. It doesn't seem to get much more varied later on. I mean, you get more enemies like ones that actually shoot at you. I do feel this would probably be more enjoyable with a gamepad than the keyboard, though. I'll just go ahead and leave. No point in sticking around for endless spawns of enemies. That is another interesting thing, is I wonder how abusable that is, since the enemies seem to spawn endlessly. Can you just tape the X key down and sit in the first room of the game and gain 20 levels and be ridiculously strong? Huh, I should try that sometime. Oh, those guys are a little considerably more dangerous. Get some hearts. Get some hearts. There we go. Fill up my life. Of course, you do run into more enemies, but item-wise, it doesn't seem to get much more varied. Gold, lightning runes that hurt stuff around you, keys, and hearts and life potions, or you just get those over and over and over again. There is no kind of equipment system, which, you know, that's not what Gauntlet was originally anyway. I don't know. I wanted to like this game. I really, oh damn it, I really did, because, you know, I love the original Gauntlet. But oh wow, this guy just keeps spawning. But it really doesn't feel much like Gauntlet to me. The fact that you're not like, the hordes of enemies are much smaller, or you're not trying to choke them into choke points and trying to hack through them to get to the spawner and stop the flow. You know, that's what Gauntlet was. This one is just, you know, each room infinitely spawns enemies. I like it doesn't have the tactical feel that Gauntlet did, where you would use your terrain and choke points to your advantage to be able to survive the massive waves of enemies. And only a full hit potion. They do sell slightly more interesting things than that, but that's what it is 90% of the time. Yeah, there is also doors you can find that will take you down farther than just the first floor, than one more floor. They take more keys, so at some levels won't even have enough keys for you to use the door. When it's there is the random generation aspect of it. I believe it's randomly generated, at least. But I've advised not using them. Well, one time I did try to use one of those doors. I was kind of really weak for where it ended up landing me. I think it was 3 floors deeper. Without gaining any experience and leveling up, I pretty much got destroyed. This, in a way, another thing I thought I would like about it is this game is in a way a roguelike. I think the floors are randomly generated, but don't quote me on that. It is permadeath. You die, you start over. And, you know, Gauntlet and roguelike, two things I really like, but it just, I'm not liking this. And I think it mostly, oh, I can buy a key, buy 5 keys. Yeah, why not? I have nothing else to spend money on. So, and you won't notice it because it wasn't recording the sound, but it's also very buggy. The sound just completely died for no apparent reason, which is a quite common occurrence. Yeah, I don't know. It's Java. Yeah, a Java game, really, in this day and age? I kind of wish this game would have been like made with Unity engine, where it could be ported, you know, Android and PC very easily without it being such horrible port problems. It is quite buggy. Sometimes you'll find doors that won't open, so you can walk through them. You'll find a hidden treasure room behind them, which is strange. A strange part of the bug. Oh, we're getting to more. Oh yeah, this is what owned me last time. Actually, now that I look at this, I got to this level before. I don't think it's randomly generated. Still, it's permadeath, so it does have a little bit of a roguelike element. These guys will not die. This is what killed me last time. Just simple wall traps got me because I was, you know, kind of cornered and trying to get. Oh, jeez. Ruin? Give me a ruin. I'm probably going to go down now. It does get considerably more difficult, even if the combat is very uninteresting with just holding down the X button. Okay. Oh, I'm dead. It does get difficult, that's for sure. It's not an easy game, but so is it fun? I'm gonna have to say no. As much as I really wanted to like this game, it's 480p. What is this? 1998. And it's buggy. It's a terrible port. And I understand that it was just released as for one game a month. It is not a complete game. There's a lot more features and a lot more content being added to the actual game that's going to release on Android and Ouya. But even then, releasing a game in this condition really isn't that excusable. Granted, it is free or pay what you want, which I toss the guy a little bit of money. You know, I like helping indie developers. But if you want to try it out, go spend $1 on it. It's a little bit of fun for $1, but the combat is completely uninteresting. The auto aiming it feels very much like a mobile game because of that, which makes sense because that's where it's coming from. And it just seems shallow. There's not much depth to it. There's very limited amount of items. So I really can't recommend this game. So before we call that a day, let's go ahead and answer the trivia question. The correct answer of who was the designer of the original Gauntlet was Ed Logg. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you next time.